What is poppin', fam? Spanik here, coach of your Reno Acerola, and this is ICBA week numero 5, week 5, for those who don't speak Espanol. And we are taking on Jonah and his Great Lake Greninjas. Now, last week we suffered a giant L to the Oregon Ducklets and Coach Johnny GB. In a heartbreaking 1-0 faction, well, should have been a 2-0, but he tried to stunt like a pleb and got punished for stunting by Kangaskhan for again ice punching his ments into the next dimension. But anyway, right now we're 2-2. We sit at second place in the division, still in a playoff spot though. We're in okay shape for a playoff race. In the playoff race, it's getting tight over here in a 10-week season. So a win here definitely against Jonah would be nice. He's a conference opponent also in the playoff picture. So yeah, getting a head-to-head matchup on him could be nice, even though head-to-head's like third and tiebreakers to diff. But just having a win's nice. Having a win is nice. So let's take a look at his team. Let's look to see what he could have possibly brought. He is coach of the Great Lake Greninjas. So he could have brought Titar, Alakazam, Gudra, Talonflame, Tentacruel, Palisade, Whimsicott, Registeel, Avalok, Stoutland, Pheromosa. So yeah, as you can see, I was kind of worried about Alakazam coming. I was kind of worried about Talonflame. When we went into this game, he was coming off a 6-0. He 6-0'd El Scizor in the last game, coach of the Borussia Dortmund. He 6-0'd him with a Talonflame. So I was really worried about Talonflame because I realized he knows how to use that thing. And sure enough, there it is. Avalok came. That was a little surprising. I expected the Palisade because it's his best thing to take hits from the Mega Metagross. Whimsicott really did worry me because Hydreigon destroys his entire team. Whimsicott being his only check to it. Other than that, Scarf Dragon, I have it so I outspeed Pheromosa before he gets a Beast Boost in speed. If he doesn't get a Beast Boost in speed, then Hydreigon outspeeds no matter what. So that's kind of my Hydreigon set there. I actually don't have Flash Cannon on it. I have U-Turn, Draco, I had U-Turn, Draco. I think I had Dark Pulse, and I don't remember my fourth move. I had U-Turn, Draco, Dark Pulse, and another move. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't Flash Cannon, though. It wasn't Flash Cannon. It may have been Hidden Power Rock, but I could be wrong on that. I could see. Serena is just a Fizz-Def Rapid Spinner set. Serena was Spidef. Serena was Spidef. Rapid Zero Spidef to deal with his. I don't remember what it was there to deal with, but whatever it was meant to deal with, it didn't come. Like he didn't bring Zam. Serena really doesn't do much this game because it's really the best thing he could do is he didn't bring a rocker, so. He didn't even bring a rocker, so it can't even rapid spin. So Serena was kind of a liability this game. It was just a mon that could have been a good sat. It's really just death fodder because he didn't bring what I meant to bring it for. He didn't bring his rockers. I think it was meant for Titar. Yeah, probably Titar, and he didn't bring Titar. So it's just now a liability. Terrakion is just a nuke button / lead for rocks. It's a rocker. I think I have like CC, Earthquake, and Stone Edge, just because his team is horrendously weak to Earthquake. Like his best Earthquake answer is maybe the Talonflame, Whimsicott even. Like he knew I was gonna ground spam. That's why he brought all his Earthquake checks. Really, my two big win conditions this game are gonna be Really, my big win conditions this game are gonna be the Hydreigon, Mega Metagross, and the Mimikyu. Mimikyu is a Shadow Sneaking. I think it's the same set I brought on what's his face. Aberforth. I think it's the same set I brought on him, but instead of Woodhammer, I have Play Rough. Yeah, SD, Shadow Claw, Play Rough, and Shadow Sneak. It's just perfect coverage against this team. It hits everything pretty damn hard. Metagross, I actually don't have the Grass Knot this week. I thought about bringing in the Grass Knot for the Palisade because I knew that was going to be his biggest check, but then I thought Ice Punch was good. Ice Punch does about the same. So I figured why not just bring Ice Punch. And K9 is a Rocky Helmet Fizz-Def set. It's mainly meant for his Talonflame and potential Bandit Stoutland. As you see, he did bring the Stoutland. It's also for his Pheromosa. Arcanine is really going to be my defensive mon this game. Because it could take care of a lot of his team. Rocky Helmet takes care of potential Talonflame. Takes care of Stoutland, takes care of Faramosa even. Because I even did Calix, I resist anything Faramosa wants to throw at me. So that's my team, that's his team. Let's see how this battle ended up playing out. But before I forget, shout out to my front office helping me prep. I always say that every week, so they already know. It's no biggie. Because once again, they came up huge this week. And he decides to lead off with Edgar, which is his Stoutland. I'm actually really surprised he brought that. Because there was no sand on his team, which surprised me. So I led off with my Hydreigon. I'm just going to obviously go for U-turn here. Just to get momentum, see what his switch-in is going to be. He goes into Spice, which is his Whimsicott. Which is fine by me. I am completely fine with this turn of events. I could definitely U-turn out. I believe I go into my Metagross here. Yeah, I go into my Metagross. Because I don't know what this Whimsicott wants to do to my Metagross. And I just have no reason to not click Ice Punch. I really just had no reason. If he goes into Palisand, that is fine. I could gauge what set this thing is. And Ice Punch should do a decent amount. I think if he was max Vizdev, the calc was about 41 to 49. So if the Hax Gods are kind to me, I could do a KO. So I go for the Ice Punch. As you can see, it does about half. That leads me to believe he is Vizdev for my Metagross. Which is excellent for me. I'm fine with this. So now I switch out here into my Hydreigon because I don't know what this thing wants to do. I was on Showdown with this thing like crazy because it didn't know what it wanted to do. He doubles out into Backbone, which is the Avalugg. Okay. That's fine. He probably predicted me there. So I just U-turn. I think I just U-turned to Terrakion, actually. I got it correct there, no big deal. He is Rocky Helmet, which sucks as a Life Orb Terrakion. And I am perfectly fine with trading my Terrakion for this thing. Because it really doesn't, judging by which, my Terrakion really doesn't do much this game. It really is just going to be Hydreigon and Mimikyu putting in the most work offensively. So I decided to get my rocks up here, knowing he's going to probably just spit him away eventually. As he just goes for Quake and pops my Sugar Berry. Oh no, Sugar Berry. Oops, I thought it was Life Orb. Yeah, like I said, this battle happened a while ago because we had a bye week last week, and I did this battle before the bye week. So, well, it wasn't really a bye week. It was a bye week for uploads, not battles. I did my week 6 already. That's going up next Monday. So, we just had a bye week for battles. We just had a bye week for uploads, not battles. So yeah, that's why I don't remember this team well. I had this battle like 2 weeks ago. So now back to the game. This is just gonna be an exchange of me trying to get up rocks, trying to catch him, going for a move other than Rapid Spin. But he's just gonna keep spinning away the rocks. So I said it's battles. It's not a battle I'm gonna win. So I might as well just take this Avalugg down with me. I just go for close combat here, which will take out the Avalugg. So I trade my Terrakion for his Avalugg. That's a pretty fair trade in my eyes, because this Avalugg could have been a I don't know what this Avalugg did other than spin away rocks. But again, I really didn't need my Terrakion. I really didn't need my Terrakion for this game, because Hydreigon and Mimikyu and Mega Metagross put in more work offensively. He goes into this Stoutland, which I really did not know what this thing wanted to do, so I just decided to U-turn. Maybe this was probably a misplay on my end. I probably shouldn't went into my Metagross here, because he probably wasn't gonna go for Crunch. I go into my Arcanine, which was a big mistake, and you're gonna see why it was a big mistake. He reveals the Retaliate. For those who don't know, Retaliate is a base 140 normal move. If something on your team died the previous turn. So he's using, and I calc, that was Choice Banded. That was definitely Choice Banded. I calced and everything. So he's using his Stoutland as a revenge killer, which is a good prep on his end. I tipped my cap to him on that. That was good prep on his end. I really didn't expect that. Like, I was thinking about going into Metagross, but then I figured, what if he predicts that I goes for Crunch, then I'm kind of fucked. It was a risk I wasn't willing to take. I was able to Morning Sun though on the Switch, so it was no big deal. I just go into my Hydreigon here. I don't know what this thing wants to do. He goes for Toxic, which is okay. That's okay for me, because Hydreigon, I really don't need health on it. It's just there to click. It's just there to be a nuke. And Whimsicott's pretty obvious here. I think I just opt to go for U-turn. This Palossand's pretty fat. Even though it only has base 75 SPDF, Dark Pulse still only does about half to it. Yeah, Whimsicott coming in here. That was the obvious switch. I just click U-turn. As I really didn't know, I just click U-turn, I think I go back into Metagross here. Yeah. I just go into Metagross, and I know he has to pick a sack now. He has to pick a sack. He goes with Leaf Seed, it misses, but that doesn't matter. This Ice Punch was definitely going to take out this thing. I probably was going to switch anyway, whatever he went into, so it really didn't matter. So now he goes into his bird. The Talonflame is in. The threat is here. I decided to switch out into my Arcanine. Arcanine was my dedicated switch into this Talonflame. Banded or not banded. I think he just actually reveals Toxic here. Yeah, he does. And this is really bad now. I didn't expect him to be a Toxic Talonflame. He did predict my switch there, so that was a pretty solid play on his end. It wasn't really worth the risk, though. I stand by this play to go Arcanine here. So now he switches from his Talonflame back into his Palossand. I'm actually walled by this thing because I had E-Speed, Wild Charge, E-Speed, Wild Charge, a Morning Sun, and a fourth move. I forgot actually what it was. I think it wasn't Fire Step. Close Combat. I had Close Combat for his T-Tar. So I am actually 100% walled by this Palossand. And he's using his Palossand as a pivot right now, which is nice. He goes back into his Stoutland. And I don't know what this thing wants to do. He doubles into his Eclipse, which is his... He doubles into his Pheromosa on my Serena. I go for a Trope Kick. Just to get damage on this. That actually does pretty good damage. But then again, yeah, Pheromosa has the defenses of a wet piece of paper. So... I just go to my Arcanine, it's my switch into this thing, even though I'm Toxic. I think it's an E-Speed range, I could be completely off on that, but I do get the attack drop, and if he wants to go for U-turn, he takes... That actually does a lot. That Bug Buzz actually did way too much damage. And the Toxic is going to rack up. But I actually decide here to keep... maybe not this turn, I think it was the next turn, where I decided to just preserve my Arcanine, because I still think it could come in handy for Talonflame. I go for E-Speed there because I thought he was in range. But this Palossand is really annoying. And this Palossand's really annoying. Toxic is going to rack up. So I just decide here, you know what? I go for Morning Sun. If he Earth Powers, he Earth Powers. I still didn't... this was probably a misplay. I maybe should have reserved this earlier. He just goes for Shadow Ball. Maybe he should have switched right into Serena because I don't know what Serena was doing. It may have been this turn where I decided, you know what, because even though Arcanine is pretty low right now, it still could come in handy for his Talonflame. Because of the Rocky Helmet, especially if he's actually banded with Toxic, it could still come in handy. So I decided to switch out into my Dragon. Because I realize he also has no switch-ins because Whimsicott's dead. He just goes for a Shadow Ball here. And I just opt to, I believe, I just go for a Dark Pulse. Because he has no switch-ins to this thing. Either lets this thing take giant damage, or he has to pick a sack. He opts to pick a sack because he still needs this on the Metagross. And he goes into his Stoutland. He opts to sack his Stoutland. Which is fine by me. I just go for the Dark Pulse. And it does a pretty decent amount of damage. And I know 100, but I can't even switch Mimikyu in on the Stoutland because it gets scrappy. And he 100% was scrappy for my Mimikyu. Because there was no Intimidate, and I doubt he was Sand Rush. Because he didn't bring T-Tar. Toxic is wrapping up on this thing. He goes into his Pheromosa. I believe I just opt to stay in and go for Dark Pulse. Because then again, I really don't need this because I thought Metagross I actually thought Dark Pulse was going to kill. That's why I did it. But he just goes for the Bug Buzz and takes me out. No big deal. Mimikyu, Arcanine could both revenge this. I think I just go Mimikyu though. He does get the Beast Boost and Special Attack, which is really good. Doesn't really matter anymore because he has to use my entire team now that Hydreigon's dead. So I just go into Mimikyu, and I believe I just click Shadow Sneak and get a kill, yeah. I Shadow Sneak on his Eclipse, and it dies. So there goes the Pheromosa. Yeah, he got a kill with it, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. He goes back into this beast. As I decide to switch out, go into my Serena, because I really don't need Serena anymore, and if he Toxics me, it's really no big deal. He does go for Earth Power here, which is completely fine. I am able to get the leftovers, and now it's just a war of attrition. He still has the Talonflame in the back, which I don't know what the set is. But I think if I can take out this thing, I win. I just go for Trope Kick. See how much it does. That's an okay amount. The worst thing he could do is try to Toxic Stall me. But then he's playing with fire, because I could... The issue of Toxic Stalling is that you're playing with fire, because I could always crit and just fuck everything up. And just fuck up everyone's game plan. That's the problem with Toxic Stalling, because you're risking crits. It's playing with fire. I never liked Toxic Stalling because you're playing with fire, but sometimes it is mandatory. And for him right now it is. And I do actually get the crit pretty early right there. That's really unfortunate for him because he did go for Show Up, but I really don't think it mattered that much. Because I could have just SD'd with Mimikyu. I could have just SD'd with Mimikyu on this anyway because I still had my Disguise. And I think Shadow Claw would have been able to take him out. I could have SD'd on the Show Up, and I think he would have died to 2 Shadow Claws. So now he goes into his Talonflame, goes for Flare Blitz. He's going to be able to take out my Serena here. It is really no big deal. He does reveal to be banded. He did tell me after the game he was banded. So even if I was able to take out his thing, he had to survive recoil. He had to survive recoil from 3 of my Mons and Rocky Helmet from... Yeah, I survived recoil from 3 of my Mons and Rocky Helmet from Arcanine. And I would definitely went Arcanine before I went into, I definitely would have went Arcanine before I would have went to Metagross regardless. So, yeah, I don't think that crit it may have mattered for Diff, but I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the game. So, GG Ice, we get a nice 3-0 win there. Granted, yeah, some hacks was... Granted, yeah, that crit kind of sucked, because it may have mattered for differential, but I think it just mattered for differential. Like, I think I would have won either 2-0 or 1-0 instead of a 3-0. So Hispanic L, we are now 3-2 on the season. Nice, getting above 500. And next week we take on the Portage Herdiers. Portage Herdiers, or Herdiers. I don't know how to spell it. To pronounce it. I could spell it though. I just can't pronounce it because I suck at English. But if you saw earlier in the video, I could speak some okay Spanish. So Hispanic out. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.